plague.
Are people? Oh,
I just started the recording, Darcy.
Oh, thank you, Susan.
Yeah, you're welcome.
Yay. Yeah, so not this time, but hopefully next year. Hopefully we're done with the plague next year. Well, I think people are still arriving, but welcome to day 3 of online Lark and Irish Fiddle. Thanks for sticking with me and this crazy tune that we're learning. Maybe while people are showing up, I'll play the tune just to remind everybody. And if you want to play along, please do.
Darcy, I just want to let everybody know with respect to the recordings that I've been recording them and posting them, and probably by the end of the week they'll all be up. So if you don't need to look for them quite yet, but they'll be up towards the end of the week, I think.
Oh, awesome. Did you figure out where they go?
Yeah, I did. Yeah,
Awesome. Great.
yeah.
where do they go?
They go to a Lark Camp drive that people don't have access to, and then Will or somebody will actually post it from the drive uh, onto something. I'm not sure where, but there'll be something sent out to you all so you all know
Oh,
when it
okay.
actually happens. But I just didn't want people looking for it now because it probably won't
Awesome.
be up until the end of the week.
Hi, I just have a quick question. I'm just joining for the first time today. And what piece are you working on? Is it the Finbar?
Finbar
Finbar Drive?
Choirs. Yes.
Okay, I printed it out. Okay, thank you.
Awesome. Yeah, cool. And actually that's a really good point. So for anybody who like this is your first day, um I think today we're going to be mostly reviewing the tune that we learned, which is this reel called Finbar Dwyers. And then also we talked about doing some ornaments, talking about ornaments that we would put in, and also phrasing, how to phrase the tune and variations. So if you're just joining, I'd say throw yourself at it. If the tune, if you don't, you'll pick up some of the tune. Hopefully you'll pick up the ornaments and stuff, and the concepts will stick, and then there's going to be videos available, so if you can actually get the slow version of the tune later on. Yeah, okay, so I'm going to play the tune, and feel free to play it along with your mute on. Here we go. Finbar Dwyers. There it is. All right, I didn't have my eyes open, so I don't know if anybody was playing along. Oh, where do we start? Shall we start with ornaments? Oh, I want to have the chat open. Ah, yes, Susan asks if anybody has the sheet music link handy, can you put it up on the chat? So that'd be really nice. All right, so yesterday I think we ended with ornaments, but we didn't really get to talk about it very much. Does anybody feel like going over roles anymore, or does anybody want to play their roles for me and have some coaching? Nobody seems to want to volunteer for that one. Oh, also, if you could raise your hand with the Zoom feature or put something in the chat, otherwise I might not see something in your video if you just raise your hand. Can we go over roll on an open string? Oh yeah, that's the weird roll. That's the fake roll. So the fake roll is going to be so for the fake roll, what you're gonna do is you're gonna start from an open string. You're gonna place your first finger down, and it doesn't matter how firmly you're putting your weight into your finger, right? So it could just be a gentle tap. All you want to do is disturb the vibration of the string, and then you give a flick with your, for me it's my third finger. I find that I can be the quickest with my third finger. So it sounds like this in slow motion. And you want to practice it the same way that you practice your rolls, where you're going to go really, really slow and really intentionally, because you're trying to establish the sequence of fingers. So open, first finger, third flick, open. Simultaneously. Can I display that in a short phrase? Yes. Let's see. Can I? No, it's not working for me right now. I need to practice more. Becoming a little more consistent for me. So you see how I just demonstrated the process 15 times a day at least. And this is one of those things that you're going to keep having to practice. Another thing that I find myself doing a lot for an open string ornament, which kind of acts as the roll, is I'll give like a little cut. That's not working either. I'll give a cut on the down bow and then up bow. And that can add a little bit of busyness to your playing, which is what we're all going for, right? Do you do it at the end of the note as with a roll on a fingered note? Ah, great question. Yes, the ornament is just the ornament. It's not the note. The note is the important part. happens when you make the roll take up more space in the note. It ends up sounding more forced, and it just doesn't quite sit right in the tune. Like that. I'll hear that quite a bit, where the pulse in the bow is at the end of the roll, rather than the pulse being on the note and the roll being an afterthought. I don't know why I'm always doing this on the hardest roll. I'm sorry, guys. Just want to make your pinkies work. Okay, any more questions on rolls? I love rolls. Rolls are really important. No more questions on rolls. So now we can go on. We were talking about I think what I was calling it yesterday was a half cut, or we could also call it the sticky finger. So that's where, if I'm playing, let's say, a E, I'm going to put my F sharp down as if by mistake, and then as soon as I play, I'm going to lift that note up, so it's going to sound like this. You're not even going to hear the F sharp, because as soon as I pull the bow, I'm going to be lifting my finger. And I don't know. I think if I had to choose between what's the most quintessential Irishy sounding ornament, if I had to choose between roll and this one, it might be this ornament. You can do it with any note. You can do it with open string even. Just put first finger down, oops, by accident. Or second finger, I'm going to put my third finger down instead and then lift it. And as you can hear, it just sounds like a pop. Or a fourth finger, my favorite. I'm also giving a little bit of a pulse with the bow to help give it that extra crunch. If I don't give it that extra pulse, it doesn't quite have that crispness. But I don't know, it depends on what style you're going for. I don't know if anybody's ever listened to me playing. I think it's probably pretty obvious that I like a crunchy style. I like that crunch. It looks like your finger is going down sideways rather than up, down. Interesting. I think my pinky's retracting sideways, if that's what you mean. But I don't think I'm not doing like a side swipe or something. Like if I'm doing a roll, then I might actually be contacting the string with the flat of my finger. Could be the camera angle. Definitely could be. Yeah, so this ornament I would definitely recommend drilling, just like all the ornaments. Never mind. Just drill everything. So I would go really slow. And then practice lifting the finger as soon as you pull the bow. The goal is to not hear the note at all. You just want to hear the pop, pop, pop. And then once that becomes easy, don't Don't forget your little bounce with the bow to give it a little extra crunch. Different angle. Then you can practice putting it in a tune. Actually, maybe something really fun would be trying to put that ornament on every single note. Does that sound? Actually, it sounds a little bit weird because you wouldn't do one ornament the whole way through. Actually, well, you might. Well, if the idea is to just make it as busy as possible, then actually that was one critique that I got once from Frankie Gavin himself when he heard my playing. He said that you don't do enough ornaments. So there you go. More ornaments, people. The more the merrier. Does anyone have any questions about the sticky finger? No. What else do we have? We could talk about the slide. I do a lot of slides. Slides are important. Does anyone want to share their slide? Get some coaching?
I'll take it.
Susan!
Yeah.
Thanks for being brave. Do it.
All right, this is the one you taught us yesterday, I think. Let's see. Can you see it?
So that's going down. Do you have the one that goes up?
Oh.
Ah, okay. So you're actually going to go the opposite direction. That's the one where, so we're going, no, that wouldn't be. It'll be on the, that's the one, right?
Sure.
Sure. Okay. So what I want you to do is I want you to place your first finger on E string. I want you to play an F sharp. Beautiful. And now what you're going to do is you're going to take your second finger and you're going to touch your first finger at the knuckle, and then you're going to slide your second finger down the first finger slowly until you touch the string. So it's like you're petting your first finger.
Oh, cool.
Isn't that weird? But there's actually going to be no slide involved. Look at how, so notice how, can you see my fingers?
Yes.
Okay, so notice how much my second finger is even sliding.
Hardly much.
Hardly, yes.
Yeah.
So that slide sound is actually coming more from my finger slowly rolling down onto the string from the first finger. So it's not actually a slide, like a slide whistle. It's a very subtle. Yeah, and you can experiment with doing that in slow motion.
Oh.
In sliding down your first finger in slow motion. Yeah, that's really cool. Yeah, so when you do that, you get this really interesting slide, kind of like the pipers bending their notes. And the resulting G is actually it's a hair flat, which to my ears sounds a little bit like the pipes, you know, when they go like, and it's not quite there, but that's part of why you love it.
Oh, thank you so much.
That was awesome. Okay. Anybody else? Kathy. Was that a raised
Yeah.
hand or was that maybe
No,
you're just
that's a
waiting?
raised hand. Would you ever combine a slide and a roll?
All the time.
Slide first and then a roll?
All the time. In fact, my slide and roll have become a hybrid. They've mixed. I love slides and rolls so much that now my roll starts happening during the slide. All the time. So when I'm starting my slide, my roll begins like half a second later. And I love that sound. I think it sounds really whiny.
Can you do that a little bit slowly?
I can try, yeah. My advice for that one, because that one's a little bit trickier, because you're essentially riding a unicycle and juggling at the same time. So learn your unicycle really easy, so you can do it in your sleep, and learn your juggling really easy, so you can do it in your sleep. And what I mean by that is, so you can slide in your sleep, and you can also most importantly, probably the trickiest thing is getting that roll really easy, which takes repetition. So what ends up happening is you're doing a slide, and then it's almost like you're pressing the detonate button on your roll. You're just pressing detonate a little bit early while you're still sliding, and then your fingers should follow that pattern because they've done it so many times before. Awesome. Is the slide in the roll or before it? The slide is in the roll. So you're starting the slide, and then maybe halfway through, or even less than halfway through, you're detonating your roll, and it's just your hand is so used to the slide that your fingers kind of just fall into place with the roll. Now, this is going to be near impossible if you are a violin strangler. If you find yourself having any kind of squeeze in your hand, that it's not going to happen because you don't have a soft slide. So this is going to come from a really soft hand. Think bunnies. Bunny soft. Absolutely no squeeze. When you slide into a roll, and then Peter, that's the one. Could you go over the bowing technique where you hold down the low note while playing? Ooh, I'm sorry. Peter, can you say this in words? Of loud words?
Um,
Oh, there's an echo, isn't there? Sorry, Peter?
We are in the same room.
Oh, okay. Wait, I'll decipher this. I'm sorry. I just thought maybe if you said it to me, I would be quicker. But okay. Could you go over the bowing technique where you hold down the low note while playing notes on a higher string? I don't have a better way of describing it. Oh, okay. Is that like Oh, it's not working out for me right now. Is that what you mean? Like a Oh, no, or do you mean All right, I'm not sure I understood the question. Maybe if you could help me out. And in the meantime, does anyone else have any more questions about ornaments or ornaments they want to go over that I haven't even talked about?
Um,
Oh, like that.
yeah.
Ooh, the triple bow. Yeah,
Yeah,
that's
that's
a,
right.
huh?
Yeah, that's what I was getting at, that technique.
Yeah, totally. Specifically violin side or bowing side? No, you said bowing technique. So you mean the bow side. What I do for those guys is usually, okay, I'm not gonna say usually separate bows because it just depends. I think I have an affinity for down bow on the higher string. So whatever, like physically, that's the spatially the lower string. So if I'm going A and E, my E string notes are gonna be on the down bow. So if I find myself on the down bow on the A string, I'm gonna slur into the E string note. So that I can, and then I'll just do separate bows from then on. And then if I find myself on an up bow, then I'll just do separate bows. Sometimes I'll find myself doing the rocking boat where I'm slurring across the string, but that's a particular sound. I think of that as kind of like an ornament. Remember, I don't think it really matters if I'm going up bow and down bow. So yeah, really that's just an affinity of mine to go down bow on the higher string, note-wise, lower string physically. Um, but that shouldn't stop you. In fact, I think some advice that really stuck with me all these years was from Kevin Burke, who said that any kind of bowing mistake, whatever bow you find yourself on, like you're on an up bow and you never do bowed triplets on an up bow, so you have to figure out how to get on a down bow. Don't do that. Just figure out how to do the bowed triplet on the up bow. Like take that as an opportunity to learn how to do it on the like that other bow. Don't get boxed in by like I can only do this on down bow or up bow. So there I go. I taught you how to do one thing and I said that it's completely pointless. One thing that really does help with that cross string action is having the arm in the higher string position. So if I'm doing I'm gonna have my elbow in the E string position rather than keeping it on the A string position and having to reach with my hand. So even though I might be doing most of my notes on the A string, I'm still gonna be down here to do it, and I'm gonna lift my arm in order to reach the string. And so you'll see I'll do like little circles with my forearm. Rather than having to work really hard and go and try to do it with the whole arm. Does that answer any, or is that at all helpful?
I still have a question about sliding into the roll.
Cool. Oh yeah, what is that? Question.
So when I play a roll, I tend to always have the lower finger ready But when I slide into it, I'm not sure. Do you like slide with both fingers down? How do you combine the slide into the roll is I guess what I'm asking.
Ooh, great question. Yeah, so my first finger or my lower finger is going to be down. So my whole hand is moving as one piece. I'm keeping the frame of my hand, and I'm just moving the whole hand back, sliding it up. Again, this is going to be near impossible if you are a violin strangler. So it's really handy to work on having a light touch on the violin. You barely need to have any kind of weight in the fingers. Or it takes very little weight in order to make a note on the violin. You don't even really have to press. You just have to let your finger sink in the string. I find that the lower finger doesn't even have to be down. It's kind of just going for a ride. Like if I were to... My lower finger's almost half down because its only real job is to be a pop. It's not a note. So lazy fingers are good. Don't try very hard.
Okay.
Try less. Any more questions? Oh, Susan.
Darcy, when you slide into, sorry, what am I saying? If you slide into a roll, there's that technique where you're writing on the first finger, like if you were rolling on a C, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like I did in the tune. And you're writing on that first finger to get to the C, and that's your slide. But that's not always the way you slide, right? Sometimes you're just sliding one finger into position.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So it's just it just depends on what's happening with the melody right before you slide.
Yeah, like for instance in the first section of the tune.
If you slid on the first note, yeah.
Yeah, I'm sliding with the first note. That's a potential roll slide hybrid. So I guess the roll slide would be mutually exclusive from this other slide where you're letting your finger slide down the other finger in order to get kind of a pipey slide. Because in order to do a slide that has a roll within it, you kind of have to move the whole hand. It's a more dramatic slide. It starts from a lot lower.
What would be the difference in context when you would do one or the other?
Oh, whatever you feel like. What you're feeling in the moment. That, and if you're doing a roll slide, you kind of need the note to be a longer note. Whereas if you do that you can bust out in a much shorter time. Just like that would be a handy trick or ornament where you can put it anywhere, just like this guy. That's an ornament that you can put on any note, given however long that note is. The roll slide tends to be kind of a longer, more whiny ornament. I think I missed a question. Okay. Can you talk about the triple bow? I try to insert it sometimes and get stuck on how to fit it in rhythmically. Yes, we can talk about that. I'm not really sure how to pronounce this name, and I don't want to offend the name. Who is this?
Jum.
Yeah, Jum. Do you wanna? Oh, it's a nickname. Is it Jumana?
Yeah, that's perfect. Yeah.
Now I know
Thanks.
how teachers feel in classrooms. um, do you wanna play the triplet, or do you have like a where in what tune do you put your triplet in?
Um, I have to go grab my violin. I'm actually eating now. I'm sorry,
Oh no.
because I'm in New York. But I don't know. Sometimes I hear the triplet happening in like a fast sort of reel, and then I'm learning the piece, and I'm just fine, learning it by ear. But then I try to put the triplet in, and I just can't do it. Like the triple bow ornament, because I get confused, I guess, on what beat it falls on.
Mm. Oh, okay. Cool. Um, would you say that it's like the rhythm, how to plug the rhythm in, or is it physically like the bow? Da da da.
I think it's more about the rhythm because I think my hand just gets confused about what it should do and when it should do it when I try to put the triplet, you know?
Yeah, totally. Um, how
Like, for example, when there's running 16th notes kind of thing, like when a melody is taken in double time and like it's all fast notes and then random triples are thrown in. I can find an
yeah,
example
so
if that helps.
I'll jump ahead a little bit because I wrote out in the sheet music, I have a little variation for our tune in the B part. So what I put here is so is that might be what you're talking about. Um I'm doing a sort of triplet da ba or like strawberry pepperoni type of rhythm. Pepperoni. Or um so that's a way you can think about it. I don't know if I ever really thought about it that way. One cool thing you could do is take some Irish dance classes.
I'm enjoying the Sean-nós one now.
Fabulous.
Yeah.
So have you danced any reels yet?
I
So
think that's what we're doing. Yeah.
like all of the rhythms in Shannos or Irish dancing, they have like the ta-ta-tum, triplet,
Yeah.
and I think you're onto something where the triplet within that where rhythm is kind of the key to Irish music. It's and doing the dancing, I think, is the best way to pick up that.
Oh, cool. Okay.
Um, but yeah, yeah.
Cool.
Okay. Any other questions? No. Okay, so shall we go on to phrasing? We have some thumbs up. Great. Okay, phrasing. I love phrasing. Um, One thing that I really want to stress is we want to get away from the beat. The beat needs to be there. We need to be feeling the beat inside, but we don't want necessarily to convey the beat to all the people who are listening. We don't want to beat people over the head with our beat. So what I want you guys to all think about is the long phrases in the music. If I were to, one of the things that we were talking about in the beginning was the lean with our bow. And like how we use that in the very first phrase. So that's part of our phrasing there. We're not going to want to use that lean to accent the beat, which is like what a lot of people do in the very beginning. You'll end up sounding like this. Which ends up being kind of boring. So what I would like you guys to do is I'll experiment with taking these phrases. I tried to mark them out on the music. I'd put little lines where I kind of think a phrase starts and ends. And you'll notice it's not quite matched up with measures. So this will be one phrase. And to me, I think of that as like a sentence. So it's going to start out with a swell, and then it gets quieter. And then this next part kind of does the same thing. I think that those feel like they're really in your face. You're going like, and I want to bring that out with my phrasing. And how do I do that? So when I'm phrasing, I don't know if anybody can really notice what's going on with my bow, but in order to make those notes come out and to sparkle, I'm letting my bow go a lot faster. Instead of 10 miles per hour, I'm going 50 miles per hour, and that pops the note. And then the rest of the notes, I might keep them really small with little bows. So we could try that. That's a really nice phrase, actually, because it's weird. So let's try that with 100 mile per hour C notes with rolls, and those little eighth note guys are gonna be tiny little bows. Notice how little, I'm actually gonna play right by the frog so you guys can actually appreciate how tiny my bows are. I mean, we're talking eyelash sized bows. So let's give that a try. And then I love this last note because it is the end of this phrase. Obviously, it sounds like resolution, but I don't want it to be the end of this phrase. I want it to be the beginning of the next phrase. So I'm going to make that note stand out. So we're going to get this quiet. Let's give that a try. And then maybe you want this end phrase to pop out. Or maybe you want to keep it really sneaky and something else. Pensive. So I'm still keeping the beat the whole time. I don't know if you can hear my foot when I'm stomping. I think that makes the biggest difference in how your fiddling comes across. If you can get those long phrases through and not just emphasize the beat or not just play the notes, you're speaking through your fiddle. I think that makes it really, really, really cool, and really cool for people who are listening, who you're sharing your music with. Or the dancers. The dancers like it too. Does anyone have any questions? No questions. So I don't know, maybe just as a example, I'll play a tune that probably everybody knows, or most people know, or if you don't know, you should learn it because it's a great tune and it's also super standard, but like the Lilting Banshee with a little bit of phrasing. So here, my version. My little example. Or you could just play it. But where's the fun in that? Okay, any questions on phrasing?
It's great stuff, Darcy. I think we just need to apply it, keep applying it in places.
Awesome, cool.
Yeah.
Am I talking about just dynamics, or is there something else? I'm talking about just dynamics, basically, or phrasing. But yeah, dynamics make the phrasing come through. It's not just for classical music. We can use it in fiddle as well. And you'll notice your favorite fiddlers and your favorite musicians. Notice how they're playing your favorite tunes and where they go all out and where they hold back. And I think that makes it really interesting. Starting to think about that aspect of the music is, for me, where a lot of the fun is. I'm also talking about flow. Yeah. Totally. Cool. Well, maybe we don't have that much time, but so I have some variations for you if you all want to look at it. Oh, or is it possible to play the piece it's very much slower for learning for us slower players? Yeah, well, we could do that. There is also going to be videos available. We have 7 minutes. So yeah, there's going to be videos from earlier or from yesterday and the day before available that'll have the whole me teaching the tune very slow. So for now, let's do the variations and hopefully you can pick up the tune that way. This is kind of an ornament, but or we could call it a variation, but it's something that I use all the time and is one of my favorite things to stick in. So my first variation is rest. So that's gonna sound like my favorite ornaments is to just omit notes. And it's usually going to be the note right at the very end of a phrase. So I'm taking out the pickup to the next and just holding. Just as easy as that. And I would totally recommend some of your favorite tunes, try it out. Having these little gaps it's super easy to do. It's less work for you because it's a one note less, and it gives a lot of great texture to the tune. So, first variation, rest. And then this is what Angelina does on her album, and I love it. So she, instead of going, she's gonna jump up to the high G. And in your sheet music, I marked that with a boo, because I want you to scare everybody with it. I want it to pop. So slowed down, that sounds like. And then the rest of it. Rest. I haven't really changed anything up in there. So let's go on. We only have 5 minutes and you're gonna have the video, so you can all learn this on your own time. The B part starts out as. So instead of holding that long F sharp, I'm just gonna kind of do a rain of thirds. Instead of. And that's really nice practice, going between the variation and what you're variating. And then next part's the same. And here's where I get to my triplets, the triplet, pepperoni. Oh no, I put a stop. You don't have to. All of these are just suggestions. Or original version. Variation. And then the next part originally would have been turns into. Or if you're really zealous, you can do separates. Any questions on those variations? I know that was like rapid fire. There they are. You have the video. It could be vegetarian pepperoni. It has a lot of spices, right? That's a very Donegal thing to do. Yay, thank you. Cool. Oh, we have a raised hand. Kathy.
Can you also vary where you put the bow slurs?
Oh, bow
Or do you?
slurs.
Or do you vary where you put the bow slurs?
I vary them all the time. That's totally a realm for creativity.
Because
Um,
here you're doing a lot across the measure, which I'm not used to doing. I know
yeah,
Kevin Burke does that a lot, but um,
I would try it out. I think that you should experiment with across the measure. In fact, what I have found is that you're gonna slur into the heavy beat. And I was even thinking about it. That might be a nice. It'll sound weird, but I think that's a nice thing to practice. Is, for instance, in the very beginning of the tune. So I'm slurring from the upbeat to the downbeat. And I've found that I will not usually slur from the heavy beat to the upbeat. Because you can hear how it kind of sounds a little bit more like plodding, blah, 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 blah. And what we're going for is a sort of lift, lift, lift. So,
but in the flow of the tune. But in the flow of the tune, you might vary where in the tune you put a slur.
yeah, this was this where you're just slurring the whole entire thing. I'd say that's just for practice. Don't do that in a session, or that sounds weird. But that'll get your bow used to slurring in those places where you'll have like da dum ba dum ba dum instead of da ba ba ba, which is very hulking and not the sound that we're going for.
I'm just looking at where you've got the slurs in the printed music, and thinking you could put them in a slightly different place or something. Instead of
that's
there.
one of the hardest things is teaching bowing, and that's kind of why, I mean, believe it or not, like I hate sheet music for Irish music. I hate it. But for teaching bowing, I think that it's really nice to see the bowing on the page, practice it this way, and then throw it out the window, and you're gonna do it different ways all the time. What you want to do is create a pattern, and you want that pattern to be this da-yum ba-yum ba-yum, not that ba ba ba. So yeah, learn it this way just so you have this in your pocket, and know that the next time you play the A part, you're gonna play it completely differently.
Thank you.
Yeah. Yay. Okay. I think I went over. I'm keeping you guys from your lunch, or in my case, bedtime, because I'm in Spain. So, actually, no, it's 9 o'clock. I'm not going to bed. I'm going to go have dinner. But thank you so much, everybody. And I hope to see you tomorrow. Yeah.
Thank you, Darcy.
Absolutely.
Thanks, Darcy.
Thank you, Darcy.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Do you know what you're going to cover tomorrow? Because I have to miss tomorrow. I want to make sure I look at the recording for that.
Yeah, definitely look for the recording. I have a new tune. Don't ask me to pronounce it because it's in Irish, and Irish is on my list of things to learn, but I haven't made it there yet.
Okay, thank you. Is that in the tunes that you sent out?
Yeah, it'll be in the link. I just uploaded it today, but it's a really beautiful jig by a young fiddler from Monaghan, and yeah. So you'll have the video. You'll have access to the video.
Thank you. You slur in jigs?
Oh yeah, better believe it.
Thank you very much.
All right, thank you, everybody.
Bon appetit.
Thank you.
Where are you? Where are you now?
I'm in Guernica.
Where's that?
In the north of Spain, in Basque country.